I'm sorry, for all of you who are just waking up. September 1, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. My husband often looks at me in wonder and says, "How can you eat that?" in reference to, say, cold scrambled eggs. Or, "How can you drink that?" in reference to stone-cold coffee. The answer, as every mother knows, is that I am used to these conditions. Mom's food gets cold while she serves and wipes and scuttles around making sure everyone else has what they need. That's the way it is, the way it has always been, and barring a miracle, the way it will always be. When you become a wife and mother, you lose your selfishness to a painful extent, or you don't succeed in the role. Millions of mothers reading this are thinking about how many plates of cold scrambled eggs and how many cups of cold coffee they have consumed over the years. They are nodding and thinking, yep, that's the way it is. Cold coffee and dirty socks. In the same way, I am a nerd to harsh language and dealing with bad men. I have been forced by necessity to get my hands dirty and do hard labor and play many roles for lack of anyone else to do them. So, I can swear like a sailor, or say my prayers, with equal fervor. And that's just the way it is. Many of you out there, especially those who are just awakening, have come out of a system of indoctrination that teaches you to conform to groupthink, that requires you to value being politically correct, and which teaches you to put on a nice front, regardless of what you do in the backroom or what you think about it. This is not an accident. It's called social programming, and most of it derives from a computer program called Mindbox, designed to imprison your mind. This system of social programming encourages and rewards you for conforming to its standards, even if that means being hypocrites or criminals. It also pays you to be deceitful, quiet, orderly, acquiescent, needy, obedient, and, frankly, not too bright. It conditions you, like Pavlov's dog, to have certain expectations and reactions. I understand that, but you also have to understand me. I come from a different system. The system I come from rewards you for acting independently and taking initiative, for being honest, for living outside the box, for learning to say no, for taking responsibility, for taking care of yourself and others, and for using your brain to think for yourselves. My nicey nice sugary sweet self died a long time ago. And so did my indoctrinated, politically correct, go along to get along version. I don't follow scripts anymore. I am not your employee or dependent. I'm not part of your political parties. I don't watch the mainstream media show. I don't put up a false front, and I make a terribly poor excuse for a victim. I eat cold scrambled eggs and cold coffee and don't even think about it. Because I come from a different system and stand on my own 2 feet and voice my own opinions, those who are used to the other system often try to use their values to label, judge, and tame me. I'm not professional, according to them. Professional what? I'm ignorant, because I make typos and suffer autocorrect. I'm this and I am that, and then, I am some other thing, in their minds. At the end of the day, I am who and what I am, and alarmingly for those who grew up in politically correct school, I make no excuse for it. That part bothers them most of all. I don't give a hammer handle what they think, and according to their programming, I should be prostrate with concern, licking their boots, overcome with anxiety, suffering to win their approval. The fact that I don't react as they expect suggests that their programming may be wrong. And that's very upsetting for them, because they have grown used to the mindbox they've been living in. It's comforting, even though it's a prison, and the knowledge that there are people out there doing things outside the box and thinking in ways that aren't approved by anyone or anything, is really unsettling to their psyche. What? She doesn't care WHAAAT we think. She doesn't need our approval. That's right. I don't. So, think about that. Why is that? Could it be that groupthink and group approval aren't necessary? Could it be that independent thought and action are actually the natural options? And now think about what you have lost and sacrificed in the name of groupthink and group approval. Your own dreams and your own personality, your own freedom of thought and opinion have all been sacrificed. You've been molded and formed and extruded like dough from a cookie press. In your hearts, all of you who are emerging from this vicious politically correct system of programmed indoctrination know it. You know it, and yet, it's hard to get beyond it and find your own voices. It's hard to dare to be yourself and quell the impulse to look around and see what everyone else is doing, but that is exactly what you need to do. This is Grandma talking. You can do it. You can still find out who you are. You can still live your own life. Yes, you, too, can be free. You can stop whipping yourself and beating others to fit the mold expected of you. Who made that mold, anyway? Who are they, and what authority do they have? Where do their standards come from? Dig into it, and you will discover the Wizard of Oz, a little old con man from Kansas, making it all up as he goes along. Grandma doesn't give a fig what he thinks. And neither should you. Links to Anna's articles and resources can be found in the video description box. Thank you for subscribing, liking and sharing.